Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and in this one I want to talk about these two cows that started a whole culture war in New York that I think is super interesting, and I would love to hear your guys' opinion on it. So let's get right into it. So this happened 2 years ago, just so you know, but yeah. It was two cows. One of them was named Blackie, the other one was named Horny, because the Blackie was a black cow, Horny was a horny cow, makes sense. So they escaped from Scott, something, I forgot his name, we'll just call him Scott. They escaped from Scott's farm and they landed into Tracy Murphy's farm. Now, Tracy Murphy's farm is a animal sanctuary. So those cows went from a slaughterhouse, which is Scott's farm, and they escaped into a animal sanctuary, right? Well, I mean, to be fair, it's not like they knew what they were doing. They're just cows, whatever. So yeah, they landed into Tracy's farm. So obviously Tracy is a open vegan. It's an animal sanctuary, so she takes care of them, right? She doesn't want to kill them, a lot of stuff. Well, they investigate, they get into it. Scott finds out that his neighbor, which is her, I guess, she has two cows. She found two cows because she reported to the local animal police, right? Animal control. So they did investigating. They found that it is Scott's cows. So she's like, hey, she's got two cows. You're missing two cows. Boom, there you go. He's like, all right, cool, bet. So he hits her up. He's like, hey, listen, those are my cows. I'm going to go pick them up. That's cool. Well, she doesn't let that happen. She doesn't let him take his cows back. Because of course he's gonna take them to sell them and get slaughtered. She doesn't want that. She's a vegan, all that stuff. So she really escalates the situation right when they meet up. So in this little article, there's a little paragraph right here that kind of explains it well. Where he goes, I think it's gonna be down here. Okay, yeah. So it says once they meet up, Mr. Murphy and Mr. Gregson's wife both started filming the encounter, even though Mr. Gregson had receipts proving he had owned the cows, which he would later show to the state police. Mrs. Murphy refused to give them up. Mr. Gregson finally drove off in frustration, leaving Horny and Blackie behind. Miss Murphy took to Facebook Live and asked for supporters to tag and share her video to let them know that law enforcement is violating my civil rights. In another Facebook post, Mrs. Murphy published Mr. Gregson's home address and telephone number. Dude, what the fuck? What are you doing, man? She straight up doxed his ass, man. She doxed his ass. She dropped that shit immediately. Hey, here's his telephone number, his address. Go fuck him up. Like, goddamn, dude. Damn. Like, that's crazy to me. And so, here's a little video of her ranting about it on Facebook.
Start tagging everybody that you can on this live video to let them know that law enforcement is violating my civil rights.
I mean, to be fair, I think we already crossed the line with civil rights because you doxed his ass. So yeah, that's interesting. So after that they both get a whole bunch of death threats. Both of them each, right? The vegans are going after him, and then the meat eaters are going after her, and all this shit. It gets crazy, and there's a whole bunch of people making signs, a whole sign war, all that shit too. What it says, you shall not steal, farmers love animals. Yeah, that's crazy. At the very end of it, I guess it's not the end of it because it's still going on right now. But after this, he finally gets his cows back because he has receipts. It's his cows. It was his property. He finally gets his cows back. She gets arrested, whatever. They're probably going through that right now. And low-key, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think the punishment was 7 years for some shit like that, 7 years. And I think now they're making it towards 3, probably, all that stuff, whatever. That's something that I'm not really get into because I don't really care about that stuff. I'm just more interested about the story at hand. But to be fair, if she goes to jail for 7 years or 3 years, that's a little bit too. 7 years is too much. 3 years, maybe, I guess. I don't know, but even then, I guess low key, I mean, she doxed his ass, dude. She fucking whatever. I'm rambling. We'll get into that a little bit later. Anyway, so he gets his cows back. They get he sells them like he always does. They get slaughtered, and they're probably at a Walmart's ground beef section or steak section for sure. And you're probably, hell, I mean, I had fucking steak 2 days ago. Maybe I ate them, but whatever. So yeah, that's really it. Also, Joaquin Phoenix gets into this, which I'll get into a little bit later, which is interesting, and I think it's funny. But yeah, so that is the main story. To summarize it, two cows, Blackie and Horny, escape from Scott's farm, which is a slaughterhouse. He sells them and all that stuff. They go to an animal sanctuary, which is Tracy's farm. She doesn't want to give them up because she loves animals. She's a vegan, all that stuff. I get that. She's very passionate about it, I guess. So she docks his ass. She tells him, no, these are my cows now, whatever. He actually gets his cows back, and then they get sold, and then they get killed, whatever. So, you know, not really happy ending for the cows. But this is what I want to say. I think this lady is a bit too crazy about that, about doxing them and all this stuff, like posting on Facebook Live, like they're trying to take away my civil rights. Listen, man, this is no hate towards vegans. My brother was vegan. Well, he was vegan. But yeah, so I have no hate towards them. But you have to look at it from this. These are someone's property, someone's two cows. They wandered into yours by accident, whatever. You know, it was his fault. He's like, hey, listen, my bad. I'm going to go pick him up, you know, problem solve, all that stuff. She takes things way out of line. You know, she starts immediately recording, I guess, like on their first encounter, all that stuff. She immediately starts recording all that stuff. Like, no, you know, do you have your receipts, all this stuff, which is crazy, man. Like, they're just his cows and all that shit. She docks his ass. She goes to Facebook Live to freaking, I don't know, like, she escalates this stuff immediately. I get it. You are passionate about animals. You know, I love animals too as much as the next guy, but I also love steak. Okay. I get it. You know, you can be passionate. You have an animal sanctuary. That's cool. You know, no hate towards her. If this was the other way around, I would be the same. If, let's say, 2 of her cows escaped from the animal sanctuary and they ended up in his slaughterhouse, you know, I think it's, I would treat it as like, that guy is fucked up. You know, give her back her cows so that way they can be in her sanctuary, all that stuff. You know, that's how it'll be. And the way I see it in this situation, his 2 cows wandered in your yard. You have to give him back. You just have to give him back. I know, all right, it sucks that other people, you know, some people aren't vegans. You know, that sucks, but you have to deal with it. You know, not everyone will be like you. And not all of them, I don't know, like, I get it. You know, you're passionate about that stuff. That's cool. But at the end of the day is, you just have to look at it from a very, like, logical and just try not to escalate shit. It's just, you know, you just have to do what's right. And I get it. It may be wrong, but that's just how it is, man. Life is unfair. That's how it is, you know. I don't know why she had to escalate it, all that stuff, go to Facebook and all that shit. That's just crazy to me, you know. But that's just how I see it. So I think she was in the wrong. And I would be on Scott's side because that's just kind of messed up. You know, your 2 cows wandered onto her thing. He's going to go pick him up. I'm pretty sure the guy was probably chill about it. Like, oh, yeah, I'll go pick him up. No problem. But she escalates it immediately, gets her phone out recording, and then, like, docks his ass. Like I said, she doxed some dude. That's nuts. And the whole punishment, too, I think it was, like, 7 years. At the time, I think now they minimized it to, like, 3 years. Some shit like that. Like, 3 years with parole or some shit. I can't remember. But, yeah. I think, yeah, maybe the punishment may be a little bit too harsh. Although she was being stubborn for sure. You know, like, taking those cows and not wanting to give him back, all that stuff. So I can kind of get that, but yeah, maybe the punishment is a little bit too much just because, yeah, it's just 2 cows at the end of the day, right? And so this little bottom part is Joaquin Phoenix weighs in, which is crazy. Joaquin Phoenix, like the Joker, he comes in. That's fucking nuts. But yeah, so it says, that did not keep her supporters from speaking out. Joaquin Phoenix, the actor known for his outspoken veganism. I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that he was an outspoken veganism. That's cool. I guess, whatever. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't be vegan, but I mean, if you're vegan, that's cool too. I guess you want to preach it, go for you. You know, you do you. Learned on social media incorrectly that Mrs. Murphy had named the wandering cows Joaquin and Phoenix. So I think that's very funny. I forgot to mention this, but I don't think it's important. She named the 2 cows, I don't know, some names, whatever. And Joaquin Phoenix thought they were named after him. I don't know how. I don't know how he got that information, but he did. And so he released a statement to local newspaper via Michelle Cho, his social impact advisor, to so harshly punish a woman who was simply showing kindness to 2 individuals who had wandered onto her property is astounding. Astounding? Yeah, astounding. I think that's so funny. Like, dude, you don't know the whole picture. She fucking doxed his ass. She started the whole thing simply showing kindness. I don't know about that. I don't know. Like, I just think that's kind of funny. But yeah, so that's really it. That's the main gist of it. Yeah, I mean, I think she's in the wrong. That's just this is just way too much. This whole thing was crazy. And yeah, I think it's super interesting. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.